Many people never realize just how fast they can change everything because they're stuck believing that transformation takes forever. The truth is, it doesn't. In just 6 months, you can completely transform your life. Not in years, not in a lifetime, but in half a year with focused effort, discipline, and commitment. You've already spent more than 6 months not giving your best, doing things halfway, starting and stopping, waiting for motivation, and making deals with comfort. The reality is, you don't need more time. You need to stop leaking your potential into distractions that give you nothing in return. While you're scrolling, hesitating, or replaying the same thoughts in your mind, someone else is rewriting their story. And they're doing it in less time with more passion than you think you have. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This is not about being perfect, but about being precise. Small, intentional actions done with intensity can reshape your reality faster than you imagine. But it all begins when you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start becoming the kind of person who takes action, even when it's hard. If what I'm saying here resonates with you, if these words are stirring something inside you, there's a simple, free way to show your support. Hit that subscribe button. We're not here to just motivate you for a few minutes. We're here to help you take your power back, fully and unapologetically. This isn't just a video. This is a moment of decision. Let's make the next 6 months count. Here's something no one tells you. 6 months of focused effort can outshine 6 years of half-hearted attempts, but it requires something rare: full alignment. It's not just about doing the right things, but becoming the kind of person who does them without second-guessing. Your habits, thoughts, environment, and discipline must all move in the same direction, like a well-trained army marching under one command. That command must come from you, not from fleeting motivation or inspiration, but from a decision so firm that the noise of hesitation can't drown it out. Why don't most people reach this level of clarity? Because they're divided internally. One part of them wants greatness, while another seeks rest, comfort, and distractions. One voice whispers about potential, while another clings to old habits and fears dressed as routines. In this inner tug-of-war, energy leaks away. You scroll when you should study. You eat junk when you promise discipline. You rationalize when you should act. You delay when the answer should be now, and bit by bit, your identity is shaped, not by who you want to be, but by who you keep choosing to be in moments of weakness. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." What does this mean? It means that the real enemy isn't outside of you. It's in the blind spots, the patterns you don't question, the inner voices you mistake for truth, the pain you've come to accept simply because it's familiar. This 6-month transformation is not just about working harder. It's about confronting the unconscious forces that dictate your choices. Your procrastination isn't random. Your self-sabotage isn't an accident. These are habits of thought built long ago, still running the show in the background. How do you break them? Not gently, not someday, but right now, with fire, with brutal honesty, and with radical self-awareness that refuses to flinch. You must look your defaults in the face, the excuses, the mental exits, the emotional dependencies, and strip away the lies that make them uncomfortable. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living, but the examined life. That's where the real battle begins. Once you see what's been holding you back, you can't unsee it. The only thing left is what you choose to do with it. So let's get real. What happens when your excuses no longer work on you? Ask yourself, what have the last 6 months really looked like? Not through the lens of self-forgiveness or busyness, but through raw honesty. Did you spend more time escaping your problems than solving them? Did Netflix get more of your time than your goals? Did you delay the things you claim to want, dressing up avoidance as being realistic? Be honest. How often did you lower your standards the moment discomfort showed up? And if that version of you has been in charge, how much longer will you let them steer? How many more days will you trade for temporary comfort, knowing full well they'll never come back? 6 months, that's your test. Not to invent a new identity, not to chase some image you saw online, but to return to yourself. The version of you that existed before the world told you to play small, to blend in, to stop asking for more. That version didn't wait for permission. It didn't make excuses for its hunger. It moved, it created, it acted. And it's still in you, buried under hesitation, but not gone. Carl Jung believed that wholeness isn't achieved by cutting parts of ourselves off, but by integration. You don't need to become something you're not. You need to remember who you were before fear rewrote the script. But here's the catch. You don't get to remember without responsibility. You don't reclaim your power by blaming your past. You take ownership. Not the comfortable kind. Not the social media kind where you post about owning your life, but don't change anything. I mean the kind that hurts, the kind that makes your stomach drop, the kind that leaves no one else to blame. If you're not where you want to be, it's not the algorithm's fault. It's not your toxic boss or your broken schedule. It's your decisions, your rituals, the comfort you chose over growth. The truth is painful, but clean. Unlike denial, which leaves a mess every time. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." You don't need more time. You need more intensity. The kind of commitment that makes distractions feel offensive. The kind of clarity that makes the old you feel foreign. When you build a life rooted in purpose, things that once felt irresistible start losing their power. You no longer entertain anything that doesn't fit the identity you're building, not because you're forcing discipline, but because misalignment feels wrong. So let me ask you, what good is a goal without a system to hold it up? Most people love to dream, but few are willing to architect the discipline that makes those dreams real. And even fewer live that discipline when no one is watching. But that's the difference between growth and stagnation, between regret and pride. So stop asking, what should I do? That question assumes you're lost. Start asking, who must I become to never need to ask this question again? Because once you become that person, the path reveals itself. The habits align, the excuses lose their power, and the need for motivation disappears entirely. What mindset does that person operate from? This is the first shift. Identity. Everything starts here. Because when your identity upgrades, your habits don't need alarms or reminders. You don't have to convince yourself to show up. It becomes as natural as breathing. This isn't motivational fluff. This is neuroscience and philosophy agreeing. The brain clings to identity and behavior follows belief. If you still see yourself as undisciplined, your actions will reinforce that label. But when you see yourself as someone who follows through, even when it's hard, you begin to act in alignment with that truth. That's why the Stoics were right when they said, don't waste time arguing what a good person is. Be one. Embody it. Plato taught that virtue is not something we inherit, but something we cultivate through repetition. When the standard becomes your nature, effort disappears. You no longer ask, should I? You simply do. But here's where most people stall. They've upgraded their desire, but not their identity. They want more, but they still see themselves as less. Let's get practical. Clarity. Not vague aspirations like, I want to be successful or I want to be happier. That's noise. That's wallpaper. What does success look like for you? Feel like, measure like? If you can't describe it, your mind can't pursue it. Do you want to lose 30 pounds? Say it. Don't hide behind, I just want to get in shape. Do you want to build a 6-figure business? Read 50 books this year? Sleep 8 hours a night? Spend more time with your kids? Whatever it is, name it, clarify it, quantify it. Because blurry goals lead to blurry effort. and blurry effort leads to nowhere. Aristotle said, "The soul never thinks without an image. If you can't picture your future, your mind won't move toward it. You must see it so clearly that every part of you starts believing it's already on its way. But even clarity isn't enough. Here's the kicker. You have to reverse engineer that goal into daily execution, not monthly intentions, not weekly. Bursts of motivation, daily precision. What must happen today exactly to move 1 inch closer? One email, one workout, one uncomfortable conversation, and then you do it, no matter how you feel, no matter the weather, no matter if Mercury is in retrograde or your to-do list is giving you a panic attack. You don't wait to feel ready. You build your own internal climate, a system where discipline isn't something you chase, it's something you are, because real discipline is forged in friction, not ease. Anyone can act when it's convenient. What defines you is what you do when it's not. So why do most people break down? Because the ego wants visible results now. It craves validation like oxygen. But transformation doesn't work that way. It's quiet at first, invisible. It feels like nothing is changing until one day, everything has. That's the paradox. You won't feel it happening while it's happening, so don't chase fireworks, chase consistency. That's where the power lives. That's where identity crystallizes. You know what destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Negotiation, that inner whisper. Maybe I'll skip today, it's not that urgent. I'll start fresh on Monday. Once that debate starts, it's already over, because comfort is persuasive. It doesn't yell, it suggests, it offers softness when what you really need is steel. That's why the greats remove the option entirely. They decide once and then act forever. They don't revisit the commitment every morning, they live inside it. Do you think Marcus Aurelius opened his eyes each day and debated whether to embody virtue? He understood the responsibility of his role, and he embodied it without asking for applause. Socrates didn't wait for the right moment to speak truth. He was truth in motion. Their actions weren't rooted in emotion, but in principle. So the real question becomes, what would your life look like if you stopped giving yourself a way out? Stop waking up wondering what to do. Instead, wake up remembering exactly who you are. Most people roll out of bed and immediately surrender to emotion, checking in with how they feel and deciding whether they're ready for the day ahead. But the truth is, life doesn't wait for you to feel inspired. It moves relentlessly forward, and if you hesitate, opportunities vanish. Aristotle put it simply, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Your power doesn't lie in waiting for perfect conditions. It's revealed by acting when conditions feel far from perfect. When you act despite your feelings, when you choose discipline over comfort, something remarkable begins to happen. Your emotions begin to follow your actions rather than leading them. This subtle shift reshapes your identity. You become someone who moves purposefully, decisively, and consistently. Action creates identity. Identity builds momentum. Momentum carries you forward, turning small daily victories into profound transformation. But how do you maintain momentum when life is so eager to distract you? Momentum is fragile. You protect it by guarding your time as though your life depends on it, because it truly does. Consider the limited nature of your days and weeks. Every moment you surrender to trivial distractions or aimless scrolling is a quiet surrender of the life you truly want. Most people aren't lazy, they're just experts at quietly losing track of their time. The days leak away, drip by drip, into activities that offer no real return. Carl Jung warned us, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Your time and attention are among the most valuable resources you possess. Yet, how often do you treat them as disposable? How many small interruptions, harmless at first glance, gradually erode the very foundations of your dreams? This isn't about relentless hustle or endlessly pushing yourself into exhaustion. This is about reclaiming sovereignty, taking back control of the hours and minutes that define your life. Ask yourself honestly, who really owns your day? Is it you, or is it every passing impulse, every trivial notification, every random thought begging for your attention? If you don't actively defend your focus, distractions will effortlessly conquer it. Plato once said, "The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself." Begin that conquest by structuring your days intentionally. Design your life thoughtfully. Create moments of uninterrupted focus. Protect deep work as something sacred, and honor periods of quiet reflection as non-negotiable. This is how you craft a life with intention, purpose, and clarity. But why stop at simply structuring your days? Why not raise the bar higher? Why not elevate your standards? Not someday, not eventually, but right now. Because here's a powerful truth. Your standards define the limits of your potential. Aristotle believed that the purpose of life is the realization of excellence. If you demand excellence, excellence emerges. If you accept mediocrity, mediocrity becomes your reality. So ask yourself this deeply. Are your current standards truly worthy of the life you envision, or is it time to redefine them entirely? While others are still carefully laying plans, hesitating and waiting for the perfect moment, you're already in motion. You're already putting your mark on the world. While they calculate risks and weigh every possible outcome, you're boldly creating outcomes of your own. Here's the truth they haven't realized yet. Life rewards motion, not contemplation. It favors those who take action, those who push forward, even when certainty isn't guaranteed. You see, confidence isn't quietly cultivated through endless contemplation or theoretical analysis. It's forged in action. Born from repeatedly stepping into uncertainty and discovering that you can handle whatever comes your way. Aristotle famously said, "Courage is the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees the others." When you step into action, courage and confidence follow. You don't need more preparation. You need fewer excuses, fewer hesitations, fewer moments of doubt. Every second spent hesitating is a second surrendered to fear. Every moment spent moving forward reinforces your strength. Carl Jung wisely observed, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Every day you're either reinforcing your personal power or feeding your weaknesses. Every choice you make, however small it seems in the moment, is casting a powerful vote toward the person you're becoming. Your habits, your routines, even the seemingly insignificant decisions you make throughout the day all add up. Each one pushes you closer to your ideal self or drags you further away. So ask yourself, which direction did you move today? And since every action counts, why not move decisively, swiftly, and with purpose? Plato believed deeply in the principle that human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Align these three elements and let them propel you forward. Move with an unrelenting hunger. Move with a sense of obsession, not reckless obsession, but the kind that clarifies and energizes your every action, making distractions feel meaningless. When you move like this, hesitation no longer controls you. Fear doesn't define your decisions. Momentum takes over. And momentum is the most unstoppable force there is. If you commit to this level of intensity and clarity for the next 6 months, you won't recognize the person you used to be. Think about that. The hesitant version of you, the one who used to delay, stall, and second guess, will become a distant memory. Instead, you'll move with purpose. You'll speak with conviction. You'll think clearly and precisely in full sentences rather than the fragmented phrases of doubt and indecision. The fog of uncertainty will lift, replaced by vibrant clarity of mind, body, and spirit. Perhaps the most profound transformation, though, is that when you look back, it won't be pride you feel. It'll be gratitude. not for the achievements or the accolades, though those will surely come, but for that singular moment of decision. The decision you made today to finally act, to finally commit, to finally refuse to be defined by hesitation. Because this moment right now isn't the conclusion of anything. It's not the finish line. This is ignition. It's a spark, lighting the fire of everything you're about to become. The person you're transforming into doesn't live in dreams or hypothetical scenarios anymore. They're not theoretical or imaginary. They're real. They exist right now in this very moment. As Socrates famously said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And now you've built something new, something powerful, something authentic. The only question left is, what will you do with it? How will you show the world who you've finally allowed yourself to become? Keep cultivating wisdom. Keep challenging yourself.